With the weather warming up and spring right around the corner, it's probably time to start planning for your lawn care needs. Joining me now is Mike Harrison from the Better Business Bureau. So I guess first things first, how do you pick a lawn care company?
Well, sure, that's a great question. You know, the first day of spring is tomorrow, so it's actually a great time of the year to start assessing what your needs are going to be. And I know it sounds common sense, but one of the first things to do is actually sit down with a pen and paper and write out exactly what it is you want done. I mean, some people handle their own lawn care needs, some other people need help with that, but as far as determining that, you've got companies that specialize in maybe one thing, you've got some companies that handle quite a few different things. So some of the projects that you can think about, you know, if you're looking for a company to do lawn care as far as mowing your lawn, edging, doing weeding, that's one thing that you can look at. There are companies that offer pest control, and then once you start getting into those bigger projects, you've got companies that will do sprinkler systems. They'll install that for you. Then you've also got, if you want a new deck put on your home or a new fence, so there's all different things that you can look at. But once you figure out what you want done, it will help you establish a budget and save you a lot of headaches too as you move forward.
So I guess then once you write down, you know, exactly what you want, what are some tips then to getting that right company?
Well, one of the first things to do is we recommend getting at least 3 bids before finding a company to do business with. And those different bids, we recommend that when you call, you have the company actually come out to your home and request a free estimate. The reason why they need to come out to your home is because they actually need to see your lawn. They need to assess any problems that you might have, give you recommendations before they can actually give you a bid. And one other thing to keep in mind is when you get those bids, the lowest one may not always be the best option for you, but ultimately that's up to the consumer to determine which one's going to work for them.
Should you ask for referrals? Is that something you should do?
Yeah, that's a great place to start, family and friends, but with these companies, ask for a list of references and call those references. Treat it almost like a job interview. Ask all sorts of questions. What kind of experience did they have with the company? Did they have any issues, customer service, things along those lines? And then that's going to help you make a final determination. It's also okay to ask if you can drive by their home too to see what kind of work that they did.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. And then how about a written contract? You should ask for that as well.
Yeah, very, very important. We talk about this all the time, but before you sign any sort of contract, I mean, you're talking, if you're getting something done around your house, it's a big investment, it's a lot of money. So make sure that you understand everything that's in the contract before you sign it, what specific services are going to be offered, how much you're paying for it. Those larger projects, you know, the beginning date, the end date, how much it's going to cost, which is obviously very important, but also guarantees, you know, what's guaranteed, what isn't. If you have problems with the company, how to get in touch with them, anything verbal that you talked about, just make sure that you get in writing with those contracts. Again, that's a big investment for most people.
And maybe ask them about their qualifications.
Yeah, again, their qualifications as far as that goes, do your homework. I mean, you've got everything else that you've done. You can ask to make sure that they have proper licenses in place because you've got some companies that work with pesticides, things along those lines. Yeah. You want to make sure that they have insurance in place, workman's comp in place in case there's an accident at your home. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're protected so that you don't have to pay for that because that can get very, very expensive.
And then speaking of paying, so when you do pay for these services, do not pay everything in advance, right? Yeah,
that's right, especially with those big projects that we talked about, a new fence, a new deck at your home. And we've talked about the rule of thirds in the past. And so what we mean by that is whenever you sign a contract with a contractor is put a third down of the total cost of the project. So once the project starts, you get to about the halfway point, go ahead and put another third down.
Okay.
And then when you get to the end of the project, assuming that you're happy with everything, go ahead and pay the remainder of the contract. And why we recommend that is as a consumer, it gives you leverage, but it's also a good motivation for the company to come back out to complete the project so they can get paid for it.
Okay, good advice there. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to call or visit the BBB's website or give them a call. That information is on your screen. Thanks for joining us, Mike. And here's what we're working on for ABC 17 News today. We have reporters at the state capitol right now, where hundreds of people are holding a rally calling for Missouri's lawmakers to expand Medicaid using federal dollars. We'll tell you about new efforts.